Welcome to Jim's Movin' Picture Show. From The Godfather to Jaws, from Raiders of the Lost Ark to Airplane, from Schindler's List to So I Married an Axe Murderer. It's a movie show that's almost as all over the place as its host.
Welcome everybody to another edition of Jim's Movin' Picture Show. I'm your host, Jim Christopher. And as you can tell, we are not in my studio and we're not on a green screen, or it's a very good green screen. We're actually out here at Riders Field, home of your Frisco Rough Riders. Baseball season is in full swing, so I thought I'm going to count down in a different way my favorite baseball movies of all time, but I'm not going to just do a traditional countdown. You're too sophisticated an audience for that. What I'm going to do is I've created a starting lineup of my 10 favorite baseball movies. Now, leading off, you got to get something started. You got to get moving in the right direction. It's the t-shirt I'm wearing. My leadoff hitter for this movie marathon is going to be Major League.
I asked Jobu to come. Take fear from bats. I offered him cigar in Rome.
You know, you might think about taking Jesus Christ as your savior instead of fooling around with all this stuff.
I like him very much, but he no help with curveball.
You trying to say Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball?
Now, out of your two-hole hitter, you need somebody who's going to keep it moving along, right? You got this guy on first base. You've got a really big gap over there on the right side of the infield. You want to get that ball moving. You want to get the runner over. And you want to recognize that baseball isn't just a movie that's ripe for comedy. It's also got a lot of heart, a lot of spirit. And what has more heart and spirit in baseball than the movie Field of Dreams?
Annie, wait.
What?
Just wait.
What do we got here?
Now, some might say that your three-hole hitter has to be your best combination of hitter. He's got to hit for some average. He's got to hit for some power. And what movie does that better than the movie Bull Durham, even though I absolutely hate the love scene where they do it in the puddle of milk? I've done it a lot, guys, and never in a puddle of milk.
Who are you? Who's he?
I'm the player to be named later.
Crash Davis. I'm Joe Riggins.
And you, Larry Hockett, should recognize me, because 5 years ago in the Texas League, you were pitching for El Paso. I was hitting cleanup for Shreveport. You hung a curveball on a 0-2 pitch in a 3-2 game in the bottom of the eighth, and I tattooed it over the Michelin tire sign and beat you 4-3.
Yeah, I remember. I should have thrown a slider. Damn, Crash, how you doing, man?
I'm too old for this shit.
The cleanup hitter, your power hitter, the one you want with ducks on the pond. For this, we picked a movie that's funny, it's heartfelt, and the Academy loved it. That's the movie Moneyball.
His legs are gone.
Grady.
We'll be lucky to get 60 games out of him. Why do you like him?
Because he gets on base.
Now, your five-hole hitter, you want it's a guy that can pick up the cleanup hitter if he doesn't quite get that run home. What does better than the movie A League of Their Own? I'm talking about Dottie Behind the Dish. Dottie, by the way, the namesake for the Ballpark Nation Baseball Awards that will be coming soon this summer. We call that a tease in the business.
Lord, hallowed be thy name. May our feet be swift. May our bats be mighty. May our balls be plentiful. And Lord, I just like to thank you for that waitress in South Bend. You know who she is. She kept calling your name.
Now, your six-hole hitter, he's my all-glove center fielder. He's the guy that's out there. Maybe not because he has the best bat, but he really knows how to keep a team together in the clubhouse and pick them up when things aren't going great. And for that, I'm choosing the movie For Love of the Game.
High bouncer off the glove of Chappell.
seventh hole hitter. Called this my slick fielding shortstop of a movie. Who doesn't love it? And I absolutely loathe Jimmy Fallon. But coming in at number 7, Fever Pitch.
What are you doing? You're gonna get arrested.
Don't sell your tickets, okay?
That's why you ran across the whole field?
Yes, stop you.
What?
Please,
You ought to.
just give me a second, okay? Just give me a second, please, please.
You gotta tell me, wait, the outfield, the grass, spongy?
Ben, focus.
Sorry.
These seats are important to you, okay? This is your summer family, your Uncle Carl. You love these seats.
No, I fell in love with this when I was 7 because I had nothing else. Now I'm in love with you. I don't need this. I don't want this.
Number 8, he's our serious all-arm right fielder. He's not the guy that's going to have a lot of fun in the clubhouse necessarily. He's going to show up, do his job, and go. He's the guy you want, though, whenever there's a brawl like what we saw early in the baseball season when the Braves and the Angels just threw down. For that, we're going to go with the underrated film Billy Crystal directed.
Here's the windup. Fastball hit deep to right. Holy cow!
Go, go.
He did it! I don't believe it! Number 61! Unbelievable! Roger Maris!
Yeah!
And they're fighting over it in right field.
Now our catcher, he's keeping the team together. He's the Javi Lopez, right? My co-host back there for Ballpark Nation is cheering. He's the Brad Osmus, who was often the most handsome Astro in the 90s. And for that, we're going to use the underrated documentary, The Battered Bastards of Baseball.
I think we charged Bing $500 for the franchise.
So we started from scratch. We're going to have open tryouts. Show us for the fools that we are, coming from Hollywood.
You'd expect maybe 40 or 50 people to show up, and I think 300 showed up.
Guys who drove, clear across the country and sacrificed this or sold this just for the chance to come and try out for the team.
I don't care, about the money. I just want to play ball.
And now our starting pitcher, the last slot on our opening day lineup. And I think the movie's underrated. I love this brand of baseball. I'm going to be out on the East Coast watching some. And that is the movie Summer Catch.
Well, so what? You can get loans.
No, you don't understand.
Well, no, understand what? Being broke? I understand.
No.
What? Doing something you love? I understand. I love standing on that mound with a baseball in my hand, staring at a guy holding a club 60 feet away, knowing that he can't touch me. It is the only place in the world where I feel powerful.
So that is our starting lineup of baseball movies for Jim's Moving Picture Show. For now, we're going to go to one of our real MVPs as we continue to celebrate some of my favorite independent filmmakers that are making movies by any means necessary. And we are excited to welcome to Jim's Moving Picture Show as we continue to shine a light on some of my favorite independent filmmakers on the circuit. Joining us now is Lisa Stock, and she is with the film Miss Amala. Lisa, first of all, welcome to the show. And second of all, one of the most innovative short films I've seen at our festival, ever.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yeah, let me give the synopsis real quick. It's a magical realist short film turning the imbalance of power into a force of nature, causing the ground to tilt. With each breaking news incident, Miss Amala is urgently called to translate a security report for a global games event and is faced with making a life-altering decision for the residents of her hometown and this tale of finding the courage to do what's right in whatever way possible. Let's talk big picture. Yeah. Where did the story come from?
Twofold. The idea of the earth tilting every time there's a news flash comes from our current world, because it seems like we turn around and there's some other catastrophe going on.
I'm unaware of I don't know what you're talking about.
And you're just your head's spinning. And so, the magic realism comes in. And I thought, well, what would happen if we actually did get bounded around every time something like that happened? And the idea that they're just kind of getting used to it, and that can be dangerous when we start to get numb. But the character of Ms. Omola came from an article that I read maybe 20 or 25 years ago. It was a really long time ago. And it was in maybe the New Yorker, and it was about a woman who was a secretary in Eastern Europe. And it was an interview with her, and she got called into work really late one night, and she sat there and waited and waited and waited. And then in walks the government officials. She had worked for the government. If I'm not mistaken, it was the meeting that they decided to take Yeltsin out of power. And she was just like, what is happening? You know, she's taking minutes for this meeting, and she's just this witness to a major shift in history. And she never left me. I thought about her for decades and finally sat down. I knew Janine was the right person. Janine Bartel was the right person to play her. And I had this in my head for so long, and I finally put the two together, and the result is Ms. Omola. Now, the name Omola comes from Ursula Le Guin's Those Who Walk Away from the Omolas, because that short story, I don't know if you're familiar with it.
I'm not, no.
It's it will wreck you. It will wreck you. It is about making a decision, and one that could change the world or leave it as it is, and whether or not the change in the world is worth making that decision. And so Ms. Omola has to make this decision in the room. You know, what can she do in the room? It's not about broadcasting, you know, out on social media or, you know, out on the news, something that she's going to do to help other people. It's just in that moment, instantly, her gut feeling, she makes a decision, no matter what the risks are to her, to help other people. And that was ultimately our message, that all of us can do something, even if it's really small, to help make the world a better place.
Well, at least let you know that in the 3 minutes that this is interview's happening, nothing stupid has come out of our house of power. So there's that.
Well, hold on.
finding 180 seconds, whatever it is, it's rare.
Yeah.
How did you pull off the production piece? Because the production value is fantastic.
Thank you.
Talk to me just a little bit about just that process. And then I want to talk about, you know, Janine is I was going to make a joke about how she's a pretty average actress. But,
right.
You know, sometimes my sense of humor doesn't carry like it should, but her job to be the physicality of the role, but also acting the role.
Yes. And, you know, I love Janine. I love actors like her. When I call her up and say, oh, and I want you to roll into the wall 100 times so we get this shot. And she's like, sure. We actually rehearsed that in a rehearsal room. I rehearsed it on my bed and rolling it. And, you know, we just kind of, because I was behind the camera. So as she was rolling, I was tilting, and we did it a couple of times just until I knew it fit. But she rolled into that. It was a radiator. I think so many times she had a big red mark on the side of her face. And I was like, oh gosh, but that, and then we just left it, you know, and it's all Janine. The mechanics of the film are all coming out of my actress, and she's amazing. She pulls it off. We had really nice feedback from another festival as well about how well she made it seem real. And I thought, well, that's her. And then the tilt back, it's all in the camera.
It's just her rolling and you moving the camera. I never would have guessed. Like I almost had a 1960s Batman villain layer kind of vibe going on. And I was so curious how you pulled that off. Wow. I mean, it just shows you how good you are at your craft.
Well, thank you.
You know, I think one of the things I pride myself on with the festival is we're really a writers' festival more than anything.
Yeah.
And how much of the current climate or just the political climate in general do you find affects you that you then filter into your writing? Because it is crazy pants right now. I mean, I think
absolutely.
You know, we all saw the photo. I mean, come on. So it's crazy pants right now.
It is. And, you know, when I was in film school and in screenwriting class, the number one thing they tell you is write about what you know about.
Sure.
After that, you can do whatever you want. And what I love about magic realism, about fantasy, is the metaphor, and being able to take what you're feeling and what you're going through and giving it a metaphor then sort of opens it up to the viewer, because then you're not saying, I only want to talk about this one particular instance. You're talking about, I have this experience, I have this emotional reaction, I have this struggle. And when you give it a metaphor, I feel like then the audience can suddenly insert themselves and say, oh, that's how this applies to me. And I hope that they come away really deeply connecting to my character, because I've opened that door for them through, a magic realist tilt, through the Fates, our last film that was at your festival, Prodigal's Road, the Fates, walking around on a farm and building burying our thread of fate. And it's just, that's something that's the way I've always wanted to present what's going on currently in the world, because writers, we, try to make sense. We try to make sense of what's going on.
We love writers, don't we? Sorry.
But if we at least can give it some sort of a framework or frame of reference, I think that dialogue that it starts, or healing that it offers, or just an ounce of sense, is why we do what we do, right? It's just to say, you're not crazy for thinking the world is crazy right now. This is really going on. And I would love to just sort of broaden, that perspective and let people come in and say, okay, this is how I'm feeling about it, and I can relate through this magic realism.
2 questions before I let you go then. One of the things that I think I like about your writing then is none of it feels theme sticky. Like none of it feels like, let me hit you over the head with a theme. How important is it to you to make sure that in many ways it's either okay, I've gotten what you're saying, but even if I don't, I still dig it. Like even if I'm not very smart, I still like the movie. How important is it to you make sure that you're subtle in whatever message you're trying to send?
So that's a twofold answer. And the first one is sometimes I'm so subtle that my boyfriend's actually a book editor. So he'll be like, okay, you're going to have to give them a little more, Lisa. You're going to have to lead them a little more. And I get all upset about it, but I get it, so I do try to help make sense of it, but I do think my films are films you have to listen to. You can't really zone out and look at your phone or anything like that. So I also know that there are some people who don't get magic realism or surrealism, and that's fine. If they're enjoying it on some level, great. But what I mostly hope is that they'll carry my film out of the theater with them, and maybe they'll think about it later, or maybe they'll ask questions about it. And we have had a lot of people say, it was the tilt was this, or they'll ask me, is that what you mean? I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I mean. We've had a lot of people wonder whether or not Rollins, who was one of the 2 men in the room, was in on it with her or giving her signals. That I'm open to their interpretation. I know what we thought. I know what the actors thought. But if somebody came to me and they didn't think that, it still works. So yes, I understand that it's not a genre that a lot of, some people relate to and some don't, but I'm kind of okay with that. I think, if I can introduce it to somebody and then they go look at, find other magic realism, that would make me tremendously happy.
Last question, and this is the one every filmmaker hates to answer.
Yeah.
What do you have next? What's next for us?
I have another film with Janine Bartel. We are actually going to revisit her character from Prodigal's Road, Miranda,
nice.
One of the Fate in Titania. And this particular short is, again, magic realism, kind of circling back to what we were just talking about and how people react to it. So if the people in the town know she's one of the Fates, how would they react to her? Would they, shy away from her? Would they go up and, blame her for everything? And so it's a little bit of her burden, but also her responsibility and the consequences of what she's doing as one of the Fates. So that's going to be really interesting. It's going to be a little more surreal than Ms. Omola, but I'm super excited. And I'm hoping to shoot at a really awesome location here in the city that has a lot of historic abandoned houses and a theater. And yes, I think it'll be very cool.
That sounds like it sounds like a postmodern magic surrealist film. I'm in.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah. You know what? I'm here all week.
I like it.
Lisa, again, first, just congratulations on just an
Thank
amazing
you,
job
and
with this
thank you for
opera.
honoring our film. We're so excited.
Absolutely, and thanks so much for being on Jim's Moving Picture Show.
Yes, thank you. Let me know when you get to New York.
That does wrap up this episode of Jim's Moving Picture Show. I hope you have a great summer of watching movies and going to ballparks. We're going to be back next week with another edition, and until then, we'll see you at the ballpark or at the theater.